Assalamu alaikum. Today we will do an exercise in the book الدروس النحوية للمدارس الابتدائية to review the marks that we learned so far. Here is the exercise. It says عين ما يظهر لك من الأفعال والأسماء والحروف في هذه العبارة. So here they're asking us to find or point out the verbs الأفعال. This is the plural for فعل or the verb الأفعال. والأسماء, the nouns إسم. This is the plural for إسم الأسماء. والحروف, and the letters. We talked about the meaning letters. So here notice, just by looking at this now, you know the diacritics for the indefinite or a proper noun. It will always have an annation. So it have doubled a or doubled u or some changes to this u as we saw before. And the in. So you will add the in to this movement. So an, un, in. And we said that's a mark for a noun. Only noun will have these marks doubled on them, either proper noun or an indefinite noun. And now we know the L, the definite article. So this L here is the definite article. It will only go with nouns, so you will never see it attached to a verb. So now you have two clues. If you look at any text, even if you don't know the word, you know which one is a noun. Now, one thing about the grammar, these will never join together. You will never see a definite article with an annation at the end of the same noun. So just remember this important rule. These never get joined with one word. Either you have an annation at the end or a definite article at the beginning. So here, let's find the nouns, because we know the marks to look for. So without knowing what these words are, here I put this orange color. Sometimes I use the red color at the end of these words. And this is what the Arabic grammar is about. The ending, the short vowel ending or movement. And with some words, letters are used to indicate the state of the word. Subject, object, and so on. So these movements change. So this here, this change. This here changes. So at the end of these words that are affected by the changes in the grammar, I showed these ending here. And that's what the grammar is about. The ending of these words that change due to their position in the sentence. So that's how you look at these orange diacritics there. They're not fixed. The blue ones, they're fixed. They're always in this position. So you will always have this first a over the a. The stress with the e over this will always be there. This silent letter at the end of this command verb. So these are fixed movements. They will always be there. Once you learn them, you will always be the same. And the same goes for these other blue diacritics here. As I said, you will build up your knowledge with these one by one. Notice here I wrote them. Notice this alif there, I have a diacritic on the letter before it, the consonant. Ma. So this will always be the case. Whenever you see an a here, you will have a diacritic as a there. This is just to give you a clue how you will go about learning this. You will get used to it just by recognizing the vowels and what comes after it or before it. So here we now know the noun and the definite article. Let's use what we know to find out the nouns in this paragraph here. So notice I used to say L. So we learned this L here. This is the definite article. And we know it only goes with nouns. You notice there is no noun because of this L. It's defined. This is for indefinite. This is for definite. The definite article is for defining the nouns. So I know this is a noun because of this L there. This L there. So just get used to seeing this way of writing these letters. This A here, the connecting Hamza, and this Al there. Every time you see it, you know you are looking at a noun. So here, the nouns, al-asma, wal-huruf. Notice here, this al there, al. So now just look for these. This is another al. So this is a noun. This here is a noun. This here is a noun. You see, I see this al there. I see this al there. This here, I see this al there. Of course, you will get used to different ways of writing. This is good writing, so they use different styles. But you will get used to noticing these in regular text, you know. So al here. So I see this al here. This al there. If I was writing this, I will say this here al-khasb, al-khasb. I will write it like this. You see, it will be like this. Al-khasb. So, in writing, try to show the letters as clear as possible. Then, when you advance, you can use different ways of writing. But notice now, this here is the L. The L is there. Now, here there's another L. And there is another L here. This L here. So, just by recognizing that one mark, this definite article, notice I picked a good number of nouns in this text. Now, when we learn the marks for verbs, we'll be able to pick a good number of verbs in a text. Now, other marks that we hinted at are the meaning letters that join only with nouns, like fi, which means in, and these are like prepositions in English, and min, which means from. So fi, in, min, from. Another one is ila, to. So notice in Arabic they're called the lowering letters. They come before a noun and they cause the noun to lower its end, this E here. So notice, we will go over these later, but just learn that by knowing these marks, you start to be able to recognize the parts of the text before you even know the full meaning of the words and what they are. So, if I look for men here or fi in this text, I will also have another clue to what more nouns I have. I see the men here, you know, I see the noun after it. So I know this is a noun because of this lowering letter. We said some of these letters will only attach to nouns. Now I know that if I see one of these, there are more like these, then I know that the noun after it, the word after it is a noun. So here, this is my clue, men. Notice here, this men here, it changed its movement. There is a different rule in grammar that caused this movement to change. But without the definite article after this men, this will be silent, men. But here, when you read, if you stop, you say men, but if you continue, you say mina. But that's for different lesson. Now, fi here, notice, that's another clue, tells me that this word after the fi, n, is a noun. This ala here is also one of these articles, means on. We will cover that later. Now here I marked all the nouns in this paragraph. And notice we only have one noun with a nonation, this nahrun, a river. So we will not go through answering all these questions because we did not cover the marks for verbs. But notice the verbs are marked by the blue color here, underline, and the green is for nouns. So knowing the marks that we learned so far, you recognize this, why it's a noun, and you recognize this, why it's a noun, and you recognize this and why it's a noun. And there are other ways of defining a noun other than using the definite article, which is like in English when you put two nouns after each other. If you say the town street, you're meaning the street of the town. So that's a defined noun. It's not undefined. So same thing in Arabic. You will have two nouns after each other, indicating that it is something of something. And that's why you will not see these diacritics indicating that the noun is indefinite or the definite article, because it's defined by being of something. So we will cover that later, but just to give you a quick look how would a paragraph would look like. Now you can see there are verbs in here where the nouns are, and I will just read this quick to give you an idea what it's about. Here it says النيل نهر ينبع من أواسط إفريقية. النيل is the Nile, a river that ينبع is like a spring. It springs out, it comes out of or starts from أواسط إفريقية, the central parts of Africa. ويصب, and it pours in or flows in the salt sea في البحر الملح. ويمر ببلاد مصر, and it passes in the lands of Egypt. فيفيض على أرضها, and it bestows on its land الخصبة والنماء, bounty and growth. ويكسب أهلها السعادة والهناء, and makes or causes its people to gain happiness and comfort. So this is just an idea how to use these marks. So now we covered the nomination and we covered the definite article. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.